Okay, so our last speaker before lunch. This is a topic that we really haven't addressed much of. Most of it is about safe driving and safe driving habits. But a lot of us are so wrapped up in our daily workload that we either ignore or we tend to tolerate different noises, sounds, feelings that our vehicles are giving us, trying to tell us that there's something terribly wrong. And what I try not to say is some of us drive the friggin' trucks into the ground. But we thought that it might be good for us to bring in a guy that's worked on trucks and fleet management for a number of years and has been involved with Comcast now for what, a dozen?
12 years, 13.
Yeah, about 12, 13 years, and can kind of give you a primer on what to look for, what to recognize, what to check and maintain. So you're not, sitting up in the air with your bucket, and either it won't come down, or you can't drive to a trouble spot, or for another emergency. So Joe has got 25 years with his company, Stevens Automotive, which is off of 14 in the Palatine area. Prior to that, he was 8 years with Toyota in Arlington Heights. He also worked at the Truck Ranch of Des Plaines, which did truck fabrication. So here's Joe.
Thanks, John. I'm Joe Stevens. That's Scott Gipprich. He's with me today to help me out. Good morning. Got a couple of slides. We're going to make it pretty quick because we know lunch is on the way. Okay, I've owned Stevens Automotive in Palatine for 25 years. We work with a couple of different cable companies from the area. We employ about 10 people. We have one of the largest auto repair shops in Palatine, an independent repair shop in Palatine. Today I'm here to discuss vehicle safety, some common sense things that you can do to keep your vehicle safe and on the road and out of the repair shop. And I'd like to start off by showing you my operation, which is a video of it. Our buzz phrase for today's presentation is VOLTS, V-O-L-T-S. It makes 5 very important safety systems of your vehicle easy to remember. Batteries, brakes, oil, lights, tires, and service indicators. These 5 common areas are the most common problems we see with vehicles at our shop. And if these 5 areas were focused on every morning before the vehicle hits the street, your vehicles could be more dependable on the road, less time in the shop, less expensive to maintain, and most important, safe for you, your tech, and other motorists.
You could experience slow cranking. Your battery could be 4 or more years old. You could have poor cable connections or corrosion. And you would experience dim lights, especially during cranking.
Batteries are the electrical source and the electrical shock absorber of your vehicle's electrical system. They are the #1 source of problems of no starts that we encounter. An average battery lasts about 4 years. Most batteries fail in hot weather, more so than in winter. We found that electrical draws from other systems in your vehicles cause battery issues. Failed inverter batteries contribute to a lot of the engine battery failures. When a battery light comes on in your dash, it's usually an alternator issue, not charging your battery. And then as you know, when you have to jump start a vehicle, it's always good to wear glasses and be prepared for battery explosions, because it does happen, and try to jump start it correctly.
Brakes are a key and critical part of your vehicle's safety system. If you notice your steering wheel pulsating when applying the brakes, you have a warped or defective rotor. You may hear a scraping noise, which can be your low pad indicator. You may notice a brake light on your dash panel. Brake fluids may be low and could be leaking. But most often, the pads are worn, making it difficult to stop properly, and you usually notice a low brake pedal.
Screeching or grinding sound from a wheel is a good sign that brakes are bad. Burning smell or pulsating brake pedals are often an unsafe sign. Applying the emergency brake and having the vehicle still roll is a sign rear brakes are needed, an adjustment or replacement, or there's a cable problem. Emergency brake application is a key inspection at the safety lane. The other issues with brakes is a low brake fluid is a sign of leak or worn out pads. Loss of brake fluid on the ground is a code red. You have a hydraulic leak. Vehicle shouldn't be driven, it should be towed, and it usually will illuminate the brake light in the dash.
Hi, I'm Val Karamitis. I work with Stevens Automotive. Today I'm with you to show you a few important points to check on your vehicle to ensure its safety and keep it out of the repair facility. The first thing to do is to check the oil change reminder sticker located in your windshield and compare it to the mileage of the vehicle. The next step is to check the engine oil while the vehicle is not running, and that is done by pulling the dipstick out, wiping it off, reinserting the dipstick, and checking the oil level in between the indicators. After you've determined that the engine oil is low, there could be a few reasons why. One, it's either leaking externally or it's burning the engine oil. Let me show you a few spots to look underneath your vehicle.
Oil leaks can be found around the oil pan, in and around the oil filter, and around the drain plug.
When you're comparing your oil change reminder sticker, one thing to keep in mind is your oil normally gets changed every 5,000 miles on fleet trucks, and it's or changed every 3 months. Checking your oil daily is strongly recommended to ensure proper lubrication of the engine. Some vehicles burn oil or leak oil. Oil leaks can start up and they get bad quick. Ticking or knocking from an engine is not good, and we suggest you're not driving it or running the engine until the problem is figured out. If you get to that point and checking the oil is a good thing to do, because putting a new engine in a used van nowadays costs between $5,000 and $7,000, so it's a lot of expense. Some vehicles have an oil pressure gauge, and while running, the gauge should read between 20 and 60 psi. In the early morning checkouts, when you're looking for oil leaks, looking underneath the vehicle for oil or coolant leaks, which would be green, trans fluid leaks, which would be red, or power steering fluid leaks, which are normally clear. Okay, this one, checking the lights in the morning on your vehicle. Obviously, it's pretty common sense stuff. Checking headlights, tail lights, running lights, your beacon lights. When a light stops working, it's usually a bulb, and if it's not a bulb, it could be a plug or a wiring issue. Turn signals that come on and that do not flash usually have a bad flasher. Headlights that are dim but that are both on are normally a poor ground. Checking all the lights every morning is highly recommended. In Palatine, I know they'll give you a ticket for a simple bulb that's out.
Safety item that should be checked is your tires. There's a few items that you can check in the parking lot. One is the tire pressure visually. Second is to see if there's any sidewall damage located in this area, chunks missing out, cracks. Also, the depth is extremely important, and if there's any nails, visual on the tread itself.
Tire pressure should be checked. Most vans run about 80 psi. If you ever want to check your tire pressure and you don't know what it should be set at, it's usually written on the side of the tire. Proper tire inflation can greatly increase your fuel economy. When tires start to get worn out, they usually measure 3/30 seconds tread depth is usually legally bald. 5/30 seconds, it won't pass a safety inspection. So when you get down to those measurements, they're unsafe. Stopping and driving in rain or snow, you'll have limited traction, and it's time for some tires.
Hello, my name is Zeke, and I would like to show you how to address a check engine light. It should be scanned with a scanner to determine which code is causing the light to come on, which could be hundreds of codes. Most commonly, could be like oil causing misfire. It could be an oxygen sensor and other components as well. It is important to remember that a type A misfire differs in that it's a flashing check engine light as opposed to a steady engine light. A flashing or type A misfire flashing light means that the vehicle should be serviced immediately because it could cause damage to the catalytic converters, to the engine, and other components as well. A steady light is a type B misfire or malfunction, and that could be other components that should be addressed as soon as possible as well, because they could turn into a type A misfire flashing light.
Check engine lights come on when the vehicle's computer has sensed a problem from an input device and it's letting the driver know that there's an issue illuminating the light on the dash. Sometimes the light can signal a serious problem and it can be accompanied by a drivability issue like rough running or acceleration issues. Other times the light comes on and goes off, which could be less serious, like an oxygen sensor. Unfortunately, scanning the vehicle's computer is the only way to diagnose, fix, and clear, and be able to clear that light. Our presentation today was to give you some clear and simple procedures to follow and maintain a safe vehicle, making it more dependable and less costly. Taking a few minutes every morning could save you or the company thousands of dollars. An unsafe truck is a huge liability for you, your company, and other motorists. Remember bolts on your morning checkout, and thank you for the time we shared today. Any questions? What's the question?
The wear indicator on the tires, I know
Yeah,
goes
they're-
all the way across. You're out of
Yeah,
time.
it usually is on an angle, so you can, so whether the tire's sitting on the ground, you'd be able to access that wear indicator, you know.
Right. But at that point, is it illegal to have the tire, or just it's now, hey, you're out of time, go buy a new tire?
Well, I don't know if it's illegal. If you get into an accident and it's a bad one, the first thing they do is they measure your tires. So that would be a bad thing to be driving around. If you're down to the wear bar, you're bald, you know. So, but that's where they measured it from, the tread depth from that wear bar up. And when you're down to 3/32, you're bald.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Let's have lunch.
That's it.